Welcome. Let's plays. Gameplays. DIY projects. 2. Arcade gaming. Snowly Game. What's going on? ZmanTheTech here. And I know it's been a while since you've heard my voice. And if you've been watching my videos, you know it doesn't normally sound like this. So, first of all, Happy New Year, and thanks for all the support thus far. All the love and support that you've given, and your time, as we all know, time is something that it's very precious. You know, it's something that you can't really get back. And statistics show that a lot of time has been given and watching videos on my channel. I've passed the 200 threshold, and I don't know, I may have to do something for that too. I'm super excited and very thrilled, very thankful, very blessed to have made it this far. And just the journey's been incredible. I didn't think it'd be anything like this as far as progress this so soon. So thanks so much. And back to the voice though. Basically, right after Christmas, my body decided, hey, you know what? You get the flu. So, unfortunately, I've been dealing with the flu and body chills, losing my voice. It's just now starting to come back somewhat. So, anyway, thank you so much. I don't want to ramble on too much. I just want to, give a huge shout out to everybody that's been supportive and everything like that on all facets of social media and so forth. Thank you so much. But yeah, as you can see today, we are going to be looking at, it's a tech review, of course, and we're going to be looking at an interesting option, a budget controller that has, I won't say universal, but it has multiple platform possibilities and functionalities, for the measly price of $6.99. And, I have tested this device, and I will, towards the latter part of the video, what I'm going to do is go ahead and, share my thoughts and experiences and, a final verdict of this controller and whether or not it's worth your money. I've acquired this on Amazon. I bought actually 4 of them. One of them I tested already on various platforms, and we're going to go ahead and get into the name here, and I'll kind of explain it as I go. As you can see, it is the EasySMX gamepad model EG-C3071. And showing on the box here, it has support for Android, PC, PS3, and I might like to add Raspberry Pi, which I've tested, and it does work. So, just want to kind of throw that out there before getting into it. But so, real quick, in this portion, as I always do, I have time stamps in the description if you want to go ahead and skip to the more review side of it. But we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing. We'll take a brief look at the box here. Not too much to show, but on this side, it's just, some contact information for the EasySMX company, and then, a QR code if you're lazy. There's not too much. I got the white one, so it's checked off. And this model is the wired version. I've seen a similar model that is actually wireless. I believe it's, via dongle, but it is wireless. So, we're going to go ahead and do the unboxing here. Okay. So immediately once you open it, you're greeted with the controller itself and its little shipping molding. So you take that out. And you got the cable kind of hanging out from the bottom, so be careful. Okay. All right, and then you have your extension cable, and of course the user manual, which is always practical, very, very important. Always check that. So I'm gonna, you know I'm OCD. I like to kind of put things back the way they were, somewhat, while still kind of reviewing. So I'm gonna handle that really quick. Take that out. Slot this back into the box here, because it's going to bug me if I don't. Slide that up there. All right. So another thing to note is that this actually, when I say Android, it's pretty much everything goes as far as what's covered. Meaning your your mobile device, as well as like TV boxes, things of that sort, tablets. As long as they have the OTG functionality, this controller will work. And the cable that's automatically the main cable is OTG ready. So, as you can see, it is let me make sure it's close enough here. Yep, it is a micro USB. So we're gonna take the tie straps off. And as you can see, it's not very long, and that's most likely for reasons of, I guess it didn't come with one, but perhaps maybe there's a harness to put your phone on, and that way there's not too much cable floating around. I guess for the sake of cable management. However, with the extension, which is most likely, what you're going to get the most use out of, it has a nice little length to it. I want to say about 6 foot, about 6 to 7 foot or more, but no longer than that. Okay. Yeah, it's got some length to it. So, and as you can see in the inside, yeah, micro USB. You slot it in, and it just kind of fits in like a glove. Boom. Okay. And your standard USB. So, let's go into the texture, feel, and all that stuff. Initially, it has a lightness to it that's like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, I want to say that the build quality of it, though, is solid. And you instantly, when you feel the build quality of it, you instantly kind of get more confidence about the product, and whether or not it's going to break after a few uses. I've seen in the comments of the post for this on Amazon, a lot of folks said that they've had some bad experiences with the triggers because they were rough with it. I'm not sure how rough they were, because there seems to be a good resistance with the pullback on the triggers. So I mean, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break after a few uses unless you're like, I don't know, like they must have been super rough with it. So I would say not to really worry about that, unless I guess you are one of those rough users, and you may want to, save your little money. But for the price, based off of that alone, I think it's still worth it. So, I always like to talk about D-pads when I talk about controllers, so I'm going to start with that. Unfortunately, this is one of the least favorite things about it. Initially, when I felt it, I was like, whoa, this actually feels pretty good. Like, it reminded me of the original SNES controller, if you remember what that felt like when you got a brand new one, or one that was in good condition. It was comfortably mushy, but it's still, you can feel the clicks on each direction. So I had high hopes, and it is brand new, so maybe it's a break-in situation. Maybe I got to break it in. But I'll get more into what it felt like when I give the a more initial, more detailed description of it. But it's serviceable, right? It's not like it's just unusable. And my go-to games for testing a D-pad is always going to be Street Fighter or something that uses quarter circle movements or circular movements with the D-pad. I was able to pull off the fireball. I just had to there was more emphasis with it, and thankfully it's comfortable enough to use to where it's not like painful or anything or like a really stressful thing to deal with. It's just typically when you play on a controller, you don't really want to have to use a lot of force or whatever. Just throwing it out there. So the sticks feel wonderful. There's a nice glide to them, and the mushroom caps on there, as we'll call them that, the texture of the mushroom caps is it's a rubbery smooth, almost like an eraser kind of feel, but it's comfortable, and it actually sticks to the fingers very well, especially when you sweat. So that's actually a plus. I like that. And then your L3, R3, as you can hear, it's clicky as it should be. But yeah, I mean, no issues there. You've got your LB and RB, and then left trigger, right trigger. As I mentioned before, there's a nice resistance to it. Doesn't feel cheap. Start select. Your home button is, depending on what platform you use, it's going to serve as that functionality. But this is also how you switch between modes. And there's a certain color combination, or not color combination, there's a certain pattern in the LEDs that let you know which mode it's in. And it actually supports X input, direct input, excuse me. And I believe there's actually a built-in driver for Xbox 360 controller, which should be attached to the X input by default. So if you have a Windows 10 computer, it automatically recognizes it as Xbox 360 when you plug it in, and it's as easy as that. I've tested a few games, both on PC, PS3, as well as the Raspberry Pi. So I haven't tested the TV box yet, which is actually why I bought these. I recently bought the Razer Forge TV, and my plan was to try out some emulation on there with, I guess, a better option for controllers. Or I needed multiple controllers, and the one that comes with it to replace it for some reason is $80. I don't know. Let me make a video on that too, with some performance, showcase of the performance, what it can do. It's actually pretty impressive for what it is. So yeah. But yeah, the buttons have a nice push down to them. They're comfortable to press. No issues there. But yeah, the functionality of changing those modes is actually done by holding the home button. And in the manual, there is a page in there. Let's see if I can show you. There's a page in there that basically explains that. So I want to go ahead and show that now. Save you some trouble. And it's in quite a few languages, which is pretty cool too. So Dutch, French, Italiano. Yeah, pretty cool. Cover quite a few grounds there. So let's see here. I usually flip right to it, but of course I'm not flipping to it now. Oh, I was on it. Okay, so Android platforms. All right. And basically, as long as you have the OTG function, when you plug it in, it should be the third and fourth light keeps on after it blinks, and you're good to go. PlayStation 3, first LED light keeps on, you're good to go. PC, first and second, good to go. And then it's talking about that driver issue. There is a download link for it if you have like Windows XP or earlier for some reason. But some people emulate on older OSs, which is totally understandable, especially for the sake of running older games. So, I mean, that is a thing. I've heard that could be problematic, but you really, oh, that's right. Someone did it wrong. As long as it's this version of Windows, then this driver is going to work, or below. So then direct input, X input, direct input is going to be first and third LED. Okay. I think it's automatic when you go automatic X input. So yeah, just want to kind of showcase that. But you can look through it yourself, of course. Yeah, I'm kind of dragging this out here. I don't want to be rambling like I normally do. So let's go ahead and get into the detailed description of how it felt, things like that. So overall, it's a good feeling controller. Functionality is pretty vast for the price. And the ergonomic feel of it is actually pretty good. It felt better than I expected it to when I saw the initial, design of the controller, and everything like that. I mean, it's got enough, curvature, grip on the back there. And it's a nice, smooth, like matte finish, of white and black there. So, I mean, or it doesn't matter what color. It just, it's a really smooth feel. It feels great in the hands. Another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on was a discrepancy in the description of the product on Amazon. And what that was involving the dual vibration motors. And one part it would say, oh yeah, there's strong feedback for dual vibration. And then beneath it, a little bit further down, it was like no motors or something in the I guess the technical description of it. So to clear that up, there is dual vibration. It's actually very strong depending on I guess the feedback in the game, whatever game you're playing. So, and it feels great. It actually feels really good. So honestly, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Basically, the only things that kind of really I had an issue with was the firmness of the D-pad, which I think with any brand new controller, it takes a little time to break it in. As the first controller that I've been testing, I've done quite a few exercises with it that kind of like, just wear it in a little bit, and it has been significantly better than out of box. So I would say that's not too much of a concern. It does typically kind of dip in a little more than your standard D-pad. So, I mean, like I said, thankfully its curvature and comfort, I think, will help with the use of it. So, yeah, once you get that wear into it, I think it's fine. The other thing is I want to say the thinness of the shielding when it comes to the cable. I have concerns, and I think if this controller is not cable managed properly, I think that's going to be an issue, because I've dealt with that years and years ago in the past. I call myself cable managing my Super Nintendo and my Genesis controllers by wrapping them like this. And I don't know if people still do that. I feel sorry for you, because that in turn actually damages the internal wiring at the base of the cable where it goes into the controller. So I would definitely suggest, kind of leaving a little slack and then kind of coiling it like so. And then, just follow up with a wrapping in the middle. Like that there. Kind of put it through one of the loops, if not all of them. And yeah, that's a better way to preserve wired controllers. I know this is kind of a weird thing for the younger generation, because you typically don't have to worry about this sort of thing as much as everything is Bluetooth, oriented, or as far as the technology with controllers. However, this is what we used to have to do back in the day. So this method I find is definitely a lot better. And just, be mindful of your storage methods, making sure that nothing's going to put pressure on this point here, because it will, in fact, start messing with the cabling, and you're just going to have to start using tape and like trying to hold it up while you're using it. It's going to be a mess. So because of that, that's my only other concern. So yeah, I'm kind of ruling the D-pad thing out because the one I first tested with is a lot better. So, but still not 100% with quarter circle movements. It's possible, just a little more effort. So, yeah, I'm dragging this out here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short. My overall impressions of this controller is it's definitely worth the money if you need some replacements. And it's definitely a viable option. You know, I mean, $7, $6.99. You can use it on PlayStation 3, Android, PC, and Raspberry Pi, probably even more. Oh, the Android TV boxes. Yep, you can use it on those too. I haven't had a chance to test that yet. I actually bought 4 of these for that purpose because I plan on doing some emulation on a Razer Forge TV that I just bought. So there'll be a video for that sometime later on down the line in regards to performance of emulation, and I'll most likely be using these should there be no issues with them, which I doubt it. They've worked for everything else I've tried so far. But yeah, and on the PS3 side, I just want to bring this about because this could be an issue for someone else later. It's a user error that I encountered, and it's a simple mistake that anyone can make. So. And I'm totally not ashamed, I mean, we make mistakes all the time, and a lot of bad things that do, or not really bad, but a lot of issues we run into are in fact user related. So what happened was I have some wireless controllers for my PlayStation 3, and they are, I believe, Afterglow or something, and they have a dongle. And one of those dongles was still in the second port. So when I went to try this out on a couple of PS3 games and one PS1 Classic, it wouldn't let me advance with start or anything. And it's because it was actually registering this one as player 2 and the one with the dongle as player 1. So for some reason, wireless dongle controllers take precedence over directly plugged in. I don't know. I wasn't aware of that. So it took a little bit of trial and error, but it was easily fixed. User error, it happens. So yeah, if you have a similar setup, don't be alarmed if you can't advance or anything like that. It's fixable. So I tested Devil May Cry Collection and Crash Bandicoot 2. Flying colors, no issues. Lovely glide to the sticks. And even Crash Bandicoot 2, moving with primarily D-pad. No issues at all. It actually, that one actually moved even easier than when I tested it with emulation for like Mega Man X and so forth. So I think I tried, what is it, Final Fight, the arcade version. Yeah, I mean, I had to press a little harder with those, but yeah, Crash Bandicoot was actually pretty good. A little too sensitive. So, but yeah, dragging this out. Yeah, I give this controller easily an 8 out of 10 because of the versatility and ease of use, and the price point. I mean, this is technically a no-brainer for me. So hopefully this helps someone out. I definitely would recommend it. I'll have links in the description. Yeah, if you like what you saw, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and remember to keep it locked to Snowlake Games for all of your indie game, third-party game, and tech review coverage. Thanks so much.